Good morning. Good morning, my beautiful friends. This is your wake up call with Maui Paul. I am Maui Paul. We are here today to say some nice things about ourselves. I want to say thank you to everybody who is here this morning. Good morning to Tony from Florida. Good morning, Dan from Buford. Jan coming in from probably from your nest. Good morning, Shauna from your house up by Big Canoe. And let's see here. Good morning, Andy. Wonderful to see you here this morning. I'll say thank you guys so much for being here. I am Maui Paul, and yeah, we're here to do the same thing we do every morning at 9 a.m. Monday through Friday. Pepper has prepared some cards for us for the week, and I am excited to see where she chooses to take us. So yeah, I'm going to pull a card off the top of the deck. I'm going to ask you if you are the affirmation on the card, and we are going to respond out loud together. I am that affirmation. As we do so, we are building into our own lives. We are focusing on what is most important, and and ultimately we are changing up the course of our experience today. So again, thanks everybody for being here. Let's pull a card and say that today I am eventually going to load. Aha! I am appreciative. I am appreciative. My gratitude expands abundantly. So I am appreciative. My gratitude expands abundantly. Are you appreciative? You are appreciative. Your gratitude expands abundantly. I'm going to write that down in the comments. And I encourage you guys to do the same thing. But I am appreciative today. You are appreciative too. And our gratitude together expands abundantly. You know, life is really about what we choose to appreciate. And we can be surrounded by all manner of beautiful things, but if we don't appreciate those things, then we then ultimately we are deciding that we are going to be unhappy. And whenever this card comes up, I always think about how um, I was as earlier in my life, I was living in Costa Rica. I was living in a beautiful place, and I mean, by all objective measures, I had an incredible life. And I remember that I was complaining to a friend once, just like some little things were getting me down. And my friend turned to me and said, Do you realize that you're bitter? And I had never really considered that before. I mean, I was happy for my friend for being honest with me in that moment, because how often have you ever told somebody that, asked them if they realized that they were feeling bitter? But I really was. I was allowing, I was allowing the little things to get me down. And my friend pointed out, he said, you're here, you are, you're like, you're like 28 years old, you're living abroad, you haven't had a job, or you haven't had any form of income in like a couple of years. You are living in beautiful houses that you're getting paid to live in. We are sitting here in this beautiful cafe, and you've done nothing but complain all this time. And I remember that really hit me hard, because I realized that he was right, that I was focusing on things that were that that you know focusing on complaining about stuff when I was living somebody else's dream life. And I realized at that moment that maybe I could just start appreciating what I had, and then I would be living my own dream life. That all the stuff in my life was something that I had intentionally chosen, and I had intentionally chosen it for very good reasons. And even though my life wasn't working out the way I thought it would, and even though I was having some frustrations in my world, that I could still be appreciative of what I had. And when I started to appreciate it, when I started to really look around me and just sort of recognize that I was in a beautiful place and that I was living a beautiful life. And it made me grateful for that. And that was a feeling that I hadn't felt in a while. And so when we appreciate what we have, when we appreciate where we are, when we appreciate what is around us, when we when we choose to stop and smell the roses, we become more grateful for the roses. And so I am appreciative today. And my gratitude does indeed expand abundantly. And I know that the folks around me are appreciative too, because of the words that we all use together as we talk about our shared experiences. I don't hardly hear anybody complain anymore. In fact, when I do hear people complain about stuff, it's always very discordant with me because because it's something that I realize that I'm just not surrounded by complainers. But when I was living down in Costa Rica, at that part of my life, I was surrounded by complainers. I was surrounded by people who were discontent with their life. And so it was no surprise that I also was discontent with mine. But when we surround ourselves with other people who are appreciative for what they have, and when we intentionally choose to be appreciative for what we have, it gives our life a different character. It gives us the ability to really yeah, expand into that gratitude and ultimately expand our own consciousness so that we can become even more aware that there are even more things that we hadn't considered that we could appreciate, that we could be grateful for. Gratitude is one of those wonderful things that expands and expands and expands. And once we realize that there is one thing to be grateful for, we realize that we're actually surrounded by two things to be grateful for, and then three, and then four, and then five. Ultimately, we start to live our lives with this attitude of gratitude, and that attitude of gratitude is something that has incredible transformative power. Because as we begin to live that way, and as we begin to just see more and more and more things that we could be grateful for, it opens our minds to new possibilities. It opens our minds to new opportunities that maybe they were always there, but we just hadn't been paying attention. And so today, I am committed to appreciating the people around me, the things around me, the life situations that I'm in, even the problems that I have, even the issues that I'm dealing with. I can be appreciative of those too, because when I really think about it, the life that I have right now, and even the problems that I'm dealing with right now, are problems that past me would be happy to have, because in the past I had bigger ones. In the past I had other things going on in my life that were far more difficult to deal with than what I currently have going on in my life. And so I am appreciative. My gratitude expands abundantly, and I know that you are appreciative as well, and I know that the people around me, because I surround myself quite intentionally by people who are grateful, for people who are appreciative, for people who look at life as something which is happening for us and not something which is happening to us. And I find that as I surround myself with other people who are on the same track as me, who are similarly, inclined as me, who are on a similar life trajectory as me, that all of us are able to help each other out, such that when I am finding it difficult to find something to appreciate, all I need to do is just have a conversation with one of my friends, and I will find very quickly that there are lots of things to appreciate in my life. And so I'm appreciative. I'm appreciative for everybody who gets up to tunes into the wake up call every morning. I'm appreciative for the house that I live in. I'm appreciative for my family. I'm appreciative even for the problems that I have right now. I am still appreciative. I'm still dealing with some minor health issues, and I'm appreciative of the fact that it is reminding me to appreciate when I am in my full faculties, because it just reminds me that most of the time I'm in my full faculties, that I don't live this way all the time, that this is something that is temporary and that is quickly passing. And so when we can find gratitude, even in the things that are not going the way that we think that they ought to be going, it gives us a superpower in life because it allows us to not wallow in self pity for what is happening to us, and recognize that we can be a cooperative component, whether we like it and agree with it or not. We can be a cooperative component. We can love what is, as Esther Hicks likes to say. And so I am appreciative today. And I know that you are as well. And today, let's go and let's appreciate what is around us. Let's appreciate the people who are around us. Let's appreciate the situations that we're in. And as we do so, let's provide an example for the people around us and make the world a better place just by being in it. I want to say thank you, everybody, for being here. Good morning again to Tony. Tony, I know that you're struggling. I know that you're dealing with a very, very difficult thing. You're dealing with something that I dealt with about a year ago, and I know that a lot of people on this call have dealt with as well. I just want to remind you that we are here for you, that we love you, and we care about you, and that time heals all wounds, and in the end, it's our responsibility to take it one day at a time. And the fact is that the price of love is this pain. The price of loving somebody as much as you loved your mom is that is going to hurt when they go away. And even I know when my dad passed away, I thought about this a lot. I thought about how, well, if I didn't have a relationship with him, then it would be easier. But then, of course, I wouldn't have ever had a relationship with him. So I just wanted to let you know it does eventually get better, and time does heal all wounds. So let's see. So good morning again to Dan and to Jan and to Shauna. Shauna, I actually have something for you the next time that I see you. Next time you come on by with your boyfriend, I got a little present for you. Let's see here. Good morning to Andy. Wonderful to see you on the wake up call today. And thanks for the kind message that you sent to me the other day. Okay. All right. So Jan says, human free will is the ability to choose and change personal focus of thinking in each moment. In each moment, I have the ability to choose to focus on or look at or think about things that I define as wrong with my earthly experience and feel yucky feelings like fear, lack, jealousy, or I could choose to focus on or look at or think about the things that I define as being good on my earthly experience and feel happy, satisfied, and content. I love that how I feel about my life is completely up to me and my focus. That's a great way of putting it, Jan. Tony Robbins actually has a thing that he says in one of his really early books. But he says what we focus on determines what we feel. And then once we feel something, then we decide what it means. And so, focus ultimately leads to meaning. And as we decide what something means, it once again gives us something to focus on. And then we decide and then we have a feeling based on what we've just focused on, and then we decide what that feeling means. And he said that we are consistently going through this cycle in life of focusing on something and then deciding and then having a feeling based on what we focused on, and then deciding what it means, and then that gives us a whole new set of things to focus on. And I find that when we are focusing on good things, that more good things will present themselves. And when we are focusing on things that we don't like, that make us feel lousy, then more things which we don't want, don't like, and which make us feel lousy will also present themselves. Let's see here. All right. So I want to say thank you again to everybody for being here. I'm going to go continue on with my recovery. And but until then, just want to remind you guys I love you and I appreciate you. And I will talk to you tomorrow at tomorrow at 9 a.m. We will come up with another one of these. I appreciate Pepper for making this, for getting the whole wake up call set up. I did not want to get out of bed this morning. I really don't want to stay out of bed this morning. I'm still feeling a bit under the weather, but it is so nice that I can just go and hit the camera on button. And so many thanks to Pepper for just preparing all these things for me. I will talk to you guys tomorrow at 9 a.m. We'll be back with another one of these. Until then, this is your daily reminder. I love you. I appreciate you. I think that you're awesome. I believe in you, and I believe that you can accomplish everything that you set out to accomplish today, and that you can be whoever it is that you choose to be today. So be an awesome person, and be an appreciative person. And I will talk to you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Until then, once again, I love you. I care about you. Aloha from paradise.